Hello and welcome back to Revender in Sports and another edition of my road to PvP, and that's Paris, Brest, Paris, and that is getting ready to start, for me anyway, on August 20th. Today is August the 10th, so August 20th, and I will be launching out Sunday at 7:45 p.m. and my frame number is P245. So I think I need to find a link where you folks can track me, follow me, and you can live vicariously through the dot chasing on the screen. So today I just want to talk to you about some very broad strokes on the course itself, because I think a lot of folks that don't do these types of brevets or have never heard of Paris, Brest, Paris. I just want to give a very quick overview on some things, and then we'll try to do in a series of videos afterwards is kind of start breaking some of these things down. So let's zoom out just a little bit, and right here is Paris. So it's called Paris, Brest, Paris, but it's actually going to leave from a town called Rambouillet, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it correctly. So if anyone is out there and wants to do some phonetic corrections, I'm more than happy to see them, because, well, I want to be able to, at least at the controls, know what these towns are called and how they're pronounced. So just to give you a quick orientation, we're going to zoom this out a little bit. And now you can see where Paris is in relation to the country of France. And then we're going to go westerly direction. Now, if anyone lives local to any of these towns, I'd love to hear from you. What are the prevailing winds? If they are a headwind going outbound and typically a tailwind coming back to Paris, that would be awesome. If you're struggling in the morning and you're riding into a headwind anyway, you're fresher, you've got your first 360 plus miles or the first 600K into a headwind, but if you know you're looking forward to a tailwind heading back, that would be really great. So Paris, and I believe the starting city, Rambouillet, is 30-ish miles or 30-ish K. All right. So let's look up here, because this is the data that is most interesting to people when you're getting a headline of the event itself. So we're looking at 1,224 kilometers. Now, by the way, if this software doesn't look familiar, it's called Open Runner, and this is what PvP organization is using. So a lot of us in the state side use Ride with GPS, and actually someone in my San Diego chapter I guess retraced these routes and put them on Ride with GPS. So, but let's talk about something briefly. From what I understand, the course is very well marked, very well marked. Also, I understand that the signage has two different colors for the outbound leg and then the return leg. So, let's say it's blue and pink, just to give you some flavor of what that might look like. So to follow all the blue signs westward, follow all the pink signs eastward. All right, but anyway, I've done some rough calculations on what these are in metric conversion over to the English system, or the old money as some people call it sometimes. Now, the thing is, you get different numbers everywhere. So none of these numbers match other numbers, and so we just have to take this. And of course, once you ride it, your GPS file is probably going to be completely different. So as they say, your mileage may vary, and in this case, it really will vary. So mileage and elevation. I did some quick calculations because I saw a different number somewhere else of 1,218 kilometers, and that came out to 757 miles. And then I saw a number of 11,892 meters of climbing. So this one's different. And that came out to 39,000 feet of climbing. Now, where did I get that number? Well, there is it here? Yeah. So the number that I gave you just a second ago was, this is what they're telling you is your cumulative climbing throughout. And this here is telling you what the cumulative mileage is. This is also from them, Paris, Brest, Paris. You'll see it up here. Oopsie. Right? So, like I said, I'm trying to follow as much information as I can. But that 1,218 number, that's this number here. And that 11,892, that's this number here. That's back to Rambouillet. So I'll give you that number again. So 757 miles and 39,000 feet of climbing. Now, there are 15 stages. So stage 1, so on and so forth, stage 2, all the way through. And each one of these links you to a map. But as I mentioned, I just wanted to give you a quick overview, if you will. So when you look at this, and so 666 kilometer bike route that starts in Rambouillet and ends in Brest. So if we're going to divide the two major legs of this, so the outbound leg is 606 kilometers with 5,072 meters of gain. So that's the outbound leg, and then the return is this one from Brest back to Rambouillet is 617, more climbing on the return, and that's that leg. Now, the biggest challenge I see for myself is the language barrier. I have found it interesting that I can read it a little bit better than I can speak it or understand it, just because I speak Spanish, I spoke Italian as a young child, and English, and so there's a lot of words that, that look very similar. So if I can read it, or if I can see it, I could possibly read it better than I can understand someone's speaking it to me. I just found that interesting. I was doing an exercise where it was talking about, you're at a train station and you see this sign and you need to do this. How would you do, or which option A, B, and C? And I was pretty close on getting quite a few of them. So, but people are going to be talking to you, obviously, so that's going to be a challenge. So language barrier, that's the first one. Another challenge that I see is that, so we have to do all these stops, these controls to get your brevet card stamped. And if you roll into a control, there's only one thing that every single body has to do, and that is get their control card stamped. You may not need to go to the restroom. You may not need to eat. you may not need to sleep, but every single rider has to go through the control and get their brevet card stamped. So that's the bottleneck that I'm wondering how that is going to pan out. Generally, when I ride, I don't like to do many stops. Typically 4 or 5 hours out here in the hills. We get, I don't know, 1,000 to 2,000 feet per hour. So if we're out for 6 hours, we sometimes get about a 10,000 foot climbing day. And I'm usually not stopping if the weather is, let's say, below 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So this will be interesting as well because we have to stop. And if we go back to this down here, these are the distances per stage, so per control. So 120 is the first shot, 83, 89, 61, 82, and so on, so on, so on. So that averages out. I didn't do the actual average, but it's about 50 to 60 miles, some a little shorter, some are in the 30 range, 38 range or something like that. But most of them are pretty close to about 50 miles, about 80K, as you see, 83, 89, 82, 80. So 50 miles between controls, that should be more than doable if you skip getting hydration or food. At least okay, next control's only 80K away. So anyway, so to keep the video short, we're going to stop here just so you can still have some interest to check out the rest of the videos. But the headline, of course, is that this is a rather large event that has to be taken in small chunks. As they say, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell as I continue to dig a little deeper into each of these stages. And keep in mind, I've never done this event, and I have not ridden competitively in France ever. So all new experience for me. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you up the road.